Hello everyone and welcome to week 4 of December 2022. Coffee and card with Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk, and this month, actually there's 5 Thursdays, so this is the penultimate card. There is another one next week, and I have gone straight to the catalogue for this. This is in the catalogue. They used to call the catalogue an ideas book, and I think that is a perfect description of it. So the Alphabest is on 115, 115. So here we go. So what they've done here, they've used a mixture of card and designer series paper, and I've just used designer series paper. I think actually if you look, they've actually used some of the stamps to make the patterns on the card, but I thought it'd be easier just to use some designer series paper, so I have done. And then I've used 2 of them where I have stamped a pattern self-coloured on, and they are in Pool Party and Petal Pink. If you don't have those colours of ink, because the card is in your pack, if you don't have those colours of ink, you can use the Versamark embossing ink. It'll take a little bit longer to dry, but it'll give you that same self-coloured effect. So, and then the colours, the base colours I've used on these are Blackberry Bliss and again Pool Party. So let's get my kit out. Now I've punched all my little bits out to save you watching me messing around with some DSP, but obviously you can do it yourself and work out how you want to lay it out. I'm just checking I've got them all before I start. So I just need to stamp now on, make sure you use your little piece of Pool Party, not the big piece. So those are the 3 pieces. I've made you a card using basic white, thick basic white, and that's 4 inches by 8 inches, scored at 4. Okay. And then, as you can see, I've already punched all mine out, but I just need to do my high and my 2 lots of flowers. Okay, so I shall get a stamp block. I'm using a slightly bigger one for the high, because that means that when I'm lining up the outside, I haven't got all the interference around the edges that you get when you use a smaller one. So we'll go with the eye first, and I will stick with my Blackberry Bliss. And I will stamp. I've given myself a particularly small piece of basic white. I'm hoping I can fit them both on. I'm sure I can. So we'll stamp the eye, and while I've got the Blackberry Bliss out, I'm going to stamp the outline for the H. Okay, so I'm going to wipe that off. Oops, just knocked my sellotape on the floor. Where's my T? Where's my T all the way over there? Just to make things complicated. So there's the eye. So I need the outline. Do it in the Pool Party first. If you're stamping the same stamp with 2 different colours, it's best to stamp the lighter colour first. So I'm just stamping that around the eye. There we go. Wipe that off. I'm going to stamp a darker surround. Ooh, see, a little bit of ink in the middle. I pressed that too hard. So I would, because you don't want a blotch of ink in the middle, I would clean that off and just tap a little more gently. Because we just want to pick up ink on the bit that's raised, not in the middle. I'm just going to stamp that there. Go away. And then pop that away and find my H, which is here in the top corner, and we're going to be doing that one in the Pool Party. Okay, line it up nice and straight, and there we go. So we've got our high And then, while I've got my pool party out, I'll do my flowers. So I'll put my H away. Those are, oh, do you know, I'm going to do stars this time, just because it's there and I've not used it. So, in a corner of your pool party, stamp some stars, wipe it off, and then get your petal pink out. Petal pink. And I'm going to stamp the stars on the petal pink. There we go. And that'll dry much, much lighter. Oh, that was clever. Don't do that with your ink and your nails. Apparently antibacterial wipes are really good at getting ink off, I've discovered. I was told 2 days ago. Okay, so I'm just going to get my punch and punch these 4 out. So we have a set of stars. Another set of stars. And then high. That's one. So I have made this paper literally the smallest it could be and still manage. There we are. Right, so because there's so many squares on this and I would like it to be somewhat straight, I am going to use my silicone mat today, if I can find it amongst all my stencils. There it is. Okay, so silicone mat. I've never found anyone else who stocks these other than Stampin' Up. I'm sure there must be other people who do, but it's really useful. So we're using a silicone mat and some Glad Wrap. Mine needs could do with a wash. It's got quite a lot of glue on it. I'll use the cleaner side. This stops them slipping about as you're lining them up. So we're going to combine using the silicone mat with some Glad Wrap. Now, I've never seen this in an English supermarket, so I had to get this off the big Amazon shop. So Glad press and seal, and it's like cling film, but it's much stickier on one side and not on the other. So don't know what's pinging there. Something's pinging. Right, so let's get started. So I'm going to get my small square of white card and I'm popping that underneath my silicone mat so I can see where I'm going. I've put it fairly straight. Okay, so I can still see the white card underneath. And I'm going to start with my 3 along the bottom. So in the interest of keeping it fairly straightforward, I'm trying to find my other, what's on the other side? There it is, that. So I'm actually following the pattern I've already done. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one roughly there. The next one was a yellow one. And then we had this one. Okay, so I'm just lining those up with each other and the white sheet underneath. Okay, so they are nice and straight. And then I'm going to put a green dotty one here. So I'm just going to do the outline first. A pink flower and then a purple. Right, so you can see there I shot off the side of it. So I'm just going to bring these a little bit closer together so that we get the edges right. Okay, and as you can see, you know, they do move out a little bit, but generally they stay, she says, nice and still on the silicone mat. Okay, and remember, we are not a factory in China, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bit skew, if it doesn't have to be absolutely accurate. That's the wrong way up. There we go. So let's move that a bit that way so that the gap's even between the two. But you see, even though the mat's moving, it's holding on to the piece of card underneath. So it's really good, so you can get everything just where you want it. So that one is about there. Pink flower, pink flower. And that's pink, there it is. Second pink flower there. Vertical stripy. Doesn't look like I've got another one. Put that there. This one goes here, that one goes there. This one is there. And then we've got our high, so I, H, pink flower, or stars rather, blue stars. Right, let's get these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've only got 4 there. Yeah, I am one short. Where's it gone? Right, I'm going to punch one. So I'm using the Hostess papers from the main catalogue, and I think I'm just going to use some that I have near the front, so I'm going to use this one, just a scrap, and I'm just going to punch out another piece. Watch it, as soon as I've done this, the other one will turn up. Okay. Right, so I'm going to squidge that on a bit. So basically what I'm going to do now is try and get everything neatly lined up. It doesn't have to be perfect, as I say, but we're just getting them towards the edges. There we go. And this one and that one out that way. This one in the middle. Still a bit skew with there. It's worth just spending a little bit of time getting these lined up correctly, or reasonably correctly, she says. Oh, come on, line up, line up, line up. There we go, and then these. Just going to move that slightly. Nope, that's not working. That's worse than the fingers. Yeah, I think I might. You see, I make these mistakes, so you don't have to. Aha! It works better with both until you let go. There we go. So we're just going to butch these up a little bit and straighten them. There. Too far. There. And there. I think that's about it, to be honest. They're not absolutely perfectly straight, but they'll do. So then you get your piece of glad wrap. So, and as I say, you can tell from here it's stickier on one side, so it's really stuck down there. And all I'm going to do is lay it down straight, don't fold it, on top of your letters. Just let it down. It's going to pick up one or two. Press it. As it says, press and seal. I am going to have to move that one, but everything else has stayed pretty straight. Okay, keeping my silicone mat in place, I'm going to turn it over. Okay, and then I'm just going to peel off my mat and it will leave all the pieces there. How cool is that? So I know this one just moved a little bit, so I'm just going to position that one again. The rest of them stayed quite still. So I'm going to use my tweezers, not those. Here we go. And I'm just going to lay that down roughly where I want it and press it down. Okay, and then you come along with your glue, which has disappeared. I just remembered I was going to get a new one. This out. So, and I'm just going to put just a little bead of glue on each of the rectangles. Sod's law, I was about to say, as you can see, the Glad Wrap's holding them in place, and that one moves. And I've found you can use the same piece of Glad Wrap over and over again, actually. If you really, really wanted to be absolutely dead square, what you could do is draw on your grid paper a square that's the same size as this and then position them using the grid lines. But I thought that was a bit over the top. If it was a very, very, very special card. And if I'm doing wedding cards or, you know, cards with names on, I do it on the grid paper so that I know I've got it straight using this technique. Okay, so, and then all we're going to do is that. How cool is that? There we go. So a bit of faffing about with your silicone mat, but then it's all on and it's all more or less straight. And certainly straighter than I could have done it freehand. Starting in one corner and working across. And there we go, just peel back your Glad Wrap. And it's done. How cool is that? And then I just need to wrap that up. And I put it back in its box. And it's ready for use again. So, and then we just need to finish off this card with a little bit of layering. So as I say, the Glad Wrap technique's brilliant for like when you're trying to put names on cards, sticking anything. Use it for the floating frame card. It really comes into its own for that. It's really useful for getting everything lined up just where you want it. So it's worth splashing out. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, the Glad Wrap, but it's definitely worth splashing out. And as you say, apparently, oh gosh, now I'm not going to be able to remember her name. Nope, can't remember her name. The guy who invented Glad Wrap is the husband of a very famous crafter, very famous paper crafter who has her own range. And I cannot remember what she's called. He's a materials scientist. And he gave us Glad Wrap, not for paper crafting, for wrapping food. But we thank him all the same. Oh, do you know, it's going to really annoy me until I can remember her name. Right, so nearly done. You've done the hard work for this card. I'm just going to mount it on the front of the card and then we're finished. And that's week 4 done. Thank you for staying with me for so long. If you haven't already subscribed, it'd be lovely if you did so. It all helps in the algorithm. And also if you do a thumbs up and write a comment if you've enjoyed the video. If you can remember the name of the woman whose husband invented Glad Wrap. Nope, it's gone. Right, okay, so there we go. So, And remember, the catalogue is full of really good ideas, and they're designed, these cards are designed by the people who designed the stamp sets, so you know, you've got some really, really good ideas in there that are quite easy to follow. Right, okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.